Right, so I have a very embarrassing stroke bit funny story to tell you. This happened probably, I don't know, about 3 years ago as such. Just shows that you cannot turn your back for 1 second when there's a demon about. I was selling this gorgeous big 5-bedroom, 5-reception roomed house. It had a granny annex at the end of it. It was in lovely condition, really spacious. The people selling the home have been clients of ours for nearly 20 years, so when they first came over from South Africa. And so really delighted to have this opportunity. It's just over the million mark, and everything went well. And we arranged a viewing for somebody who was moving into the area, moving down from London, and they wanted to have a look. And so husband, wife, and I guess about 9-10-year-old daughter turned up at the house. We had a look around, and as can sometimes happen, the kids have a little bit of a wander, and we try and keep control. The property was vacant, or the clients lived abroad most of the time. Viewing went very well. Daughter disappeared, and I went to look for her. I found her in the ensuite and called her back to her family, and they left. I then, as always, walked around the house to check what was going on, make sure all the windows were shut, all the doors were off, all closed, all the lights were off. And I noticed that the fish tank in the corner was frothing a little bit, and I couldn't figure out what was happening to it. So I walked over and had a look, and literally foam was coming out of the top of the fish tank. Now, there were fish in this fish tank. And I started to panic and think, what the heck's happening? What's going on? So as I say, I went over, I had a look, and I noticed around the base there was some sort of white powdery stuff. This is on the cabinet that the fish tank was sitting on. And I smelt it, and it just smelled soapy odd. I mean, it certainly wasn't fish food. And I saw over on the side on another work surface that there was a couple of those foil packets which hold tablets for the dishwasher or the washing machine in, and they'd been broken apart. I went over to have a look and smelt it. It was the same thing, unfortunately, and that was sprinkled all over the floor. So I realised what had happened and went straight back to the fish tank, at which point I also noticed that whilst the water was turning cloudy, that there were some 1 and 2p coins at the base of the fish tank. And by the door that went into this room was a little jar which they collected 1 and 2 pence pieces in. And she'd obviously tried to put those, or had put those in the fish tank as well. So slightly panicking, I found a net, and I managed to catch as many fish and put them into a little bowl as I could. I knew that there was another fish tank upstairs in one of the bedrooms, so I took them upstairs and tried to transfer them in with the minimal exchange of water, because the last thing I needed was to contaminate the second fish tank. Now, having to explain this would have been tough enough without having to say I then wrecked the whole thing. I obviously tidied up the whole property, made sure everything was locked and secured, contacted my client who as I said earlier, they're a wonderful family, understand things happened, and whilst they laughed, it was more out of despair than anything else. We have remained extremely good friends since, and the little girl is well known now amongst the company and our clients as being the little fish killer. So anything can happen when you get your back turned.